Welcome, everybody, to the season finale of Split Decision. I'm the host, Mike Zahorsky. This is Anthony Willis. Anthony, this is your last episode, and apparently now this just in. There's no Split Decision until next fall.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's breaking news.
I don't know what I'm going to do. That is some breaking news. Not as big as last night's breaking news with Cliff Lee. We will get to that into the show, but because that was a last-minute topic, we're going to go with the original order. Now, AFC easy. Why did I put AFC easy? Because for the Patriots, they just make it look easy. It's their division. They're going to win this division. But let's start with the Jets and Dolphins. The Jets look terrible. This is a team who a few weeks ago was supposed to be the best team in the league. And now, what's going on with them? What's going on with Mark Sanchez?
Mark Sanchez is obviously the quarterback who, you know, everyone thought he was. A lot of people were trying to hype Mark Sanchez up like he's ready for this team now. I think I heard it the best. This team is built to win now. Mark Sanchez is built to win later. He's not a finished product. He, a turnover machine right now. And that Jets defense isn't helping any at all. The offense, when it looks horrible like it did Sunday in this game against the Dolphins. Mark Sanchez, the offensive line gave him no time to throw the ball, and of course he was just a turnover machine. So the Jets got to get it turned around quick because they should not have lost to that Miami Dolphins team.
Yeah, they had
no business losing to them.
No business losing to them. So the Patriots then, they go into Chicago and they win 36-7. In very inclement weather, where that's it. Isn't that supposed to be Chicago Bear football weather?
That's New England Patriots
football weather too. But this is a Chicago team that's supposed to be good. That's supposed to be a contender to win the NFC, and they looked bad. But let's not take anything away from Tom Brady. He is just on fire right now, Anthony. Is there any stopping him?
No, he hasn't thrown an interception since week 6 against the Ravens when he threw 2 picks in that game. Since then, he's been throwing nothing but touchdown passes. And it's, funny because Brian Urlacher, was making this a statement game for the Bears saying, oh, yeah, well, the Patriots, everyone's saying that they're the best team in the league. Well, we're going to be the best team, period. And you come out and you let the Patriots offense walk up and down the field on you for 36 points. The Patriots, obviously, I don't see any team right now that's going to stop Tom Brady right now in the Patriots offense. They're just on fire. They're clicking on all cylinders. So I don't see who can do it.
Me either,
if you can't, let me know.
Absolutely not. If I find someone, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
Now, what a bizarre season for the Minnesota Vikings. And Sunday at 5 a.m, the Metrodome collapsed, epitomizing their season, the collapse of their stadium. I mean, look at this. First of all, I would want to be in the stands just watching this and watching all the snowfall. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm in a 3D movie. What is this? But no, this just epitomized how the Vikings season has been. Just everything that could have gone wrong for them did. Brett Favre, his streak ended at 297. Now, Anthony, as a Vikings fan, I have to tell you, for the first time since he was a Green Bay Packer, I was sick of Brett Favre. I was sick of hearing about the streak and how it had ended. I want to hear what's going to go on with the Vikings' future. We'll get to that, but this game, Anthony, the Vikings for the past 4 years have had the best run defense in the NFL, and the Giants just ate them alive last night. What happened?
Obviously, this is a team in flux, even though, Leslie Frazier is a defensive-minded coach. The Williams wall isn't holding up like it has in years past. But going back to the Brett Favre subject, he actually showed me something. He actually, didn't want the spotlight. He, chose to end his streak, and his teammates urged him to, at least take the first snap and, let the streak continue. But he showed me a lot by refusing to do that. That took a lot of class to end his streak because he could have just easily, went out there, took the first snap and just let his streak continue. But the Vikings just, I don't know.
DeVar Jackson's not the answer.
I mean, this is his first game starting this season. Obviously, this is his first game starting in a long time, obviously.
They've been talking about him forever, though. And it's just like, when is he going to show that maturation? I haven't seen it. A lot of Viking fans are screaming for Cam Newton. I think they're going to have too good of a record to get him.
Yeah, they might actually have too good of a record to get him because Cam Newton, unless the Vikings are in the top 10 in the draft coming up in April, I don't think they're going to be able to take Cam Newton, in the draft because obviously they'll probably be in the teens, somewhere in the teens, and Cam Newton will go to one of these teams like, a Carolina or a team that needs it. But Minnesota, obviously they lost the game 21-3.
Playing in Detroit.
And they're talking about shutting Favre down for the rest of the season, and obviously that will shut his career down also.
He's not coming back. Now, if you are ignorant to the rest of the NFL with how big this story was with the Vikings and the Giants and the story that's been blown up about how bad Mark Sanchez has been and how good Tom Brady is, you wouldn't even know there were a whole bunch of other games played, Anthony. But
very true.
Let's start in Pittsburgh where the Steelers didn't score an offensive touchdown again. In the past 2 games, they've scored 1 offensive touchdown, and they've won both of them, and they were both division games. Now, Anthony, is anybody in the league better than Troy Polamalu?
In years past, of course, I'm a big Ed Reed guy. I always would take Ed Reed over Troy Polamalu, but Troy Polamalu does more around the line of scrimmage than Ed Reed does. If Ed Reed did some of the same things, then I would continue to take Ed Reed. But the Bengals, you don't have to score an offensive touchdown against a team that has Carson Palmer, T.O., and you can win and blow them out.
That's a problem.
They're just a horrible team.
And this game, very important game. Why? Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback who was one of the most talked about during the season, he had a concussion. And it seems that Green Bay's playoff hopes are off. And yes, they have a winning record, but they're a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, a lot of this actually helped the Eagles in any tiebreaker situations. The Packers' playoff chances have been shot with that loss to the Lions.
Bizarre game. Tampa, Washington. Right before this, there was a dispute over whether there was 5 downs given to the Redskins, right? So they had an extra play to get a touchdown, and then they missed the extra point. Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you remember a few years back when New Orleans was playing Jacksonville, and New Orleans had that Stanford bring the band on the field style kickoff return?
Yeah,
They brought it all the way down, and John Carney misses the extra point. Just like that. So how does the NFL prevent something like that happening again? Because this is the National Football League. This is a $9 billion industry, and we have a dispute over how many plays were run.
Yeah, it's like the infamous 5-down play back years ago when Missouri upset highly favored Colorado. So, obviously 1 yard marker was off. They need to get that, these chain gang guys are paid to get the downs right. All you have to do is switch it from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4.
Not that hard.
It's not that hard. So,
although
even with all that, they still lost.
If the number 5 had come up here, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, they still lost.
There's one more game that we need to save space for right here because we're going to use it as a preview into a coming game this week. The Eagles and the Cowboys. Now, last year, the Cowboys beat the Eagles twice in the regular season, and then they beat them again in the playoffs.
Don't remind me. Yeah.
So this was a huge revenge game, and, I didn't think the Eagles were spectacular, Anthony, but they found a way to win the game. And these are games where, in the past, Andy Reid teams have not won. Nope. And they found a way to win this game, which I think says something about them. By the way, Deshaun Jackson's just so fast.
My favorite play of the game right here.
So now, they've beaten the Cowboys. The Cowboys have played better under Jason Garrett, but we're in a playoff race right now. We'll save talk about Jason Garrett for the offseason. The Eagles go to the Meadowlands. This is, a couple weeks ago when the Jets and the Patriots played, that was arguably the most anticipated game in the AFC this season. This right now is the most anticipated game in the NFC, am I right?
Yeah, I would definitely say so because whoever wins this game is going to take the NFC East. Obviously, if the Eagles win the game, the NFC East is theirs. That means they would have swept the Giants 2-0, and that will put the Giants a game back of the Eagles with 2 games to play. So the Eagles could lose out and still win the division. and the Giants could win out and still win and still lose the division. The Eagles showed me something though in this game. Like you said, in years past, the Eagles wouldn't have won this type of game
collapse.
Because the Eagles have a run game now, and LaShawn McCoy iced the game with 4 minutes left. We didn't even give the ball back to Dallas at the end of that game. McCoy finished with 149 yards rushing.
Their team is running the ball better than it ever has
and that's
before.
because of the threat of Michael Vick taking off too.
Now, what was the last time the Giants beat the Eagles? It's been a while.
Five straight losses against the Eagles.
If you're the Giants going into this game, number one, you need to find a way to stop Michael Vick. But number two, your offense better get going, because if the Eagles get out to a lead and they could just rush Eli Manning the whole day, it'll be a long day for the Giants.
Here's a little tidbit that I just found out not too long ago that I didn't know this, but Steve Smith and Hakeem Nicks actually re-injured themselves in the Vikings game.
Really?
Last night. I don't know how serious it is. Maybe, they'll be able to play. If they don't
play in that game, it's an Eagles win.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and that obviously is a delight to Eagles corners, especially Asante Samuel coming off of his knee injury if he does end up playing.
We'll pick that game with a little more detail later. Now, Cam Newton is the Heisman Trophy winner, and I don't think, Anthony, that there's any disputing that he was the best player in college football this year. Nobody was better. Of course, he had this whole scandal going on about, whether there was a pay-to-play situation, whether his father was shopping him, which I think is kind of disgusting. I think that's a disgusting thing that essentially you're selling your son to play a sport. Yeah. I think it's wrong. But nevertheless, Newton won the Heisman. And, I'm for him winning the Heisman because I think the Heisman should be for your play on the field. That's why I'm against the NCAA stripping Reggie Bush of his Heisman, because his play on the field was spectacular. Do you agree? Should Cam Newton have won the Heisman? Was he justified?
And he should have won it by a lot more points than he did win it, but I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 105 writers leaving Newton off their ballots completely, and a lot of writers voting him second or third. You might as well just leave him off and instead of voting him second or third, because Cam Newton definitely wasn't the second or third best player in college football. He was the overall best player. His season, rivals the season that Tim Tebow had his Heisman year when he put up all those rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns.
And I don't think Newton had some of the weapons that Tebow had. Like, look at the guys Tebow had.
Percy Harvin,
Louis Murphy, and that defense, Brandon Spikes and all that. Everyone talks about the Gators and the offensive players they have. They had a great defense. But no, I think this should go to Newton, and I think there is a lot of pressure on him now to win this national title game. Do his skills translate to an NFL player?
I think so. His delivery, he's accurate. His delivery is not like Vince Young's delivery. They always have that thing with certain quarterbacks.
A little quicker.
His delivery is quicker.
A little quicker. It needs to be. I think it needs to be a little more quicker to be NFL ready, but he's much closer to NFL ready than guys like Vince Young have been, than Matt Leinart, who was he ever NFL ready? It's a question we'll ask forever.
Also, special congratulations to the runners-up. We got to give the runners-up love.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Luck, LaMichael James, and Kellen Moore.
Nominated to win this award, you're a good college football player, and you very likely will be playing at a high level. Now, Cliff Lee is back in Philadelphia. Oh my God.
Got the news last night. Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Almost fell out of my seat.
Oh, my God. I almost fell out of my seat. Now, he turned down an extra $34 million from the New York Yankees.
What?
An extra $30 million from the Texas Rangers.
Money couldn't get the Yankees by this time? Really?
Isn't this great? This is one of the best things that has happened in sports in a long time. The Yankees got rejected.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. So, look. Now you have this Philly team. We'll get to the rotation later, but let's talk about Cliff Lee.
Okay.
One of the reasons he went to Philadelphia, do you remember the playoffs? You remember when he was pitching for Texas? You remember how those Yankee fans were to his wife?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Cliff Lee, this is a man who, for years was a very arrogant man, and then his son got very sick. It made him realize everything that's important in life. And one thing that's important to him is how his family's treated. So I think he's smart. But Why would he have not gone back to Texas, you think, Anthony?
I really couldn't answer that question. I think more so why he didn't go back to Texas, more so why he came to Philadelphia is he remembers his season with the Phillies that he had going all the way up into the World Series and being 2-0 against that said Yankees team in the World Series, basically dominating them. And he remembers that success he had with the Phillies, and he sees that he's going to be flanked by Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt, and Cole Hamels, and he said this is a perfect situation in a weaker division and weaker conference where he can just rip the NL apart.
By the way, we're making split decision history today. We're having two topics pretty much meaning the same thing. We're going to talk about the Phillies rotation when we come back from commercial break, but very quickly, Anthony, now the Yankees did not get Cliff Lee. Now they're stuck with a mediocre rotation. And the Red Sox just got Carl Crawford and Adrian Gonzalez. Are they the team to beat in the American League East?
Absolutely. They are the team to beat in the AL East. They could hit off the Yankees pitching staff. And Tampa Bay's still not, that bad. Even though they did lose Carl Crawford, Tampa Bay's still a good team.
Matt Garza may go to the Yankees. When we come back, we're going to talk about this Phillies rotation. And I am going to ask Anthony a question that all of you are going to be asking for the rest of the year. The funny thing is, Anthony doesn't know what it is yet. Stay tuned.
Hey, kid, what's shaking? Besides me.
Dad, there's something wrong with the fridge.
What? Ooh, a snack.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org. Because nobody likes an energy hog.
Hey, they got Charlie. Yeah, who cares?
Can I help you, sir?
Found these over by the stairs.
Okay, thank you.
What are they?
Love handles. Lots of people lose them taking the stairs instead of the escalator.
Kids, here's my favorite animal. Strong, intelligent, ethical, dependable, compassionate, and patriotic. By the way, where's John?
Intelligent, strong, ethical, dependable, compassionate, and patriotic.
When you help your neighbors, you help your nation. Make a difference. Volunteer. Learn how at usafreedomcorps.gov.
When I was senator, I did a lot.
After that, I was able to orbit the Earth in a great big rocket ship.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We missed you. Now, we're going to go back to this Philadelphia Phillies topic. If you don't know already, because you're in some dark, desolate cave in the middle of nowhere, the Phillies signed Cliff Lee. It's unbelievable. Now, let's look at this rotation. You start at the top. You have Roy Halladay, who threw a postseason no-hitter. I was there to witness it. Unbelievable sight. Just unbelievable. Ear-shattering. You have Cliff Lee, who is a more than proven pitcher in this league. Roy Oswalt, who statistically is as good as the other two, but for years played on a Houston team that couldn't score runs. And you have Cole Hamels, who in 2008 was the postseason MVP. Anthony, is this the best rotation maybe ever put together in the history of the sport?
Definitely on paper, it's looking that way. I don't see how you can't argue against that, just how many Cy Youngs are, there between all of those pitchers. And, the Giants, the San Francisco Giants.
They're loving this.
The Giants, who just won the World Series, what did they ride to their World Series championship?
Pitching. And they love this.
Yeah, and what did the Phillies do? They went out and they just basically acquired one of the best pitchers in the game, as they did last season with Roy Halladay. So they're going to take the Giants' form of success and ride the pitching, hopefully to another World Series championship. This is definitely, I think right now, not being a homer, this could definitely be the best pitching rotation we've ever seen in Major League Baseball history.
Now, here's why I think the Giants love this. Last year before the NBA season, all the talk was about the Miami Heat. And the Lakers are sitting there in the corner like, we just won the title, but you know what, okay. I think the Giants might be doing the same thing, but I don't think the Giants have the manpower to do it again. I think the Phillies are set, but I would love to see them play Boston. That would be a matchup. Serious matchup. You have that hitting team with David Ortiz, Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford going up against the Philadelphia pitching staff. World Series for the ages?
On paper, yeah, that's the early season, off-season World Series game, Phillies and the Boston Red Sox. So that would be an awesome, awesome series. It'd probably go down to the wire, 7 games.
Now, I'm gonna cry. This is the last time we get to fantasize.
I know.
Oh my God. I'm just kidding.
I know.
All right, so Phillip Rivers is going to light it up in California this week.
Love it.
He's going to beat the 49ers. Absolutely. He'll have a really big game. Let me look at this. Ray Rice against New Orleans. Ray Rice, I feel like, Anthony, hasn't quite broke it out to his full potential this year. Not doing it like he did last year. But I think against New Orleans, a home game where the Ravens have the Super Bowl champs coming in, I can see him having a big game. Reggie Wayne versus Jacksonville. These are the type of games where Reggie Wayne plays very well. I think he has a big game this Sunday. And the Patriots defense against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers may not play, Anthony.
Very good pick. I like that.
So in New England, how do you get a bet against a Bill Belichick defense going up against a backup quarterback?
I love it. I like your picks. And for my picks, give me, staying with the Patriot flavor, give me Tom Brady against the Packers defense. Here's why I picked Tom Brady. Because if Aaron Rodgers does not play and they have to go through another game with Matt Flynn, that's going to be a lot of 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out,
Patriots will be on the field the whole time.
If you keep giving Tom Brady the ball, do you not think that he's going to, not put up numbers in that game? Of course he will. So that's why I picked Tom Brady. For running backs, give me Maurice Jones-Drew, pocket Hercules versus the Indianapolis Colts weak run defense. I think Jacksonville is getting ready to put their stamp on the AFC South, and a big reason for that is Maurice Jones-Drew's running. For wide receivers, give me Deshaun Jackson versus the Giants. He always seems to come up huge in games against the Giants, and he's riding a 4-catch, 210-yard game against the Cowboys last Sunday night. And for defense, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers defense against the Jets offense. Troy Polamalu.
Mark Sanchez is going to cry.
I think I could see Troy Polamalu, intercepting at least 1 or 2 passes in that game. Maybe a couple other Steelers. The sacks should be plentiful for the Steelers. So give me the Steelers defense versus the Jets offense. That's
what
not
happened
clicking.
to that Jets running game that was supposed to be so
LT
good?
and Sean Green, yeah.
They're not getting it done. You're seeing LT start to wear down and be like that LT everyone thought he was going to be. Sean Green, I don't trust holding on to the football, and it's not an offensive line that's playing well. This is what you get for getting rid of Alan Faneca.
Yeah.
Now, Pick'em. Our last Pick'em. This is unbelievable. I can't believe I'd ever see this day. Now, Anthony, the Eagles are going to beat the Giants. Did you notice?
Okay, it's the first time you picked the Eagles in a while.
Well, here's why I think the Eagles are going to beat the Giants.
Okay.
Look, the Eagles secondary is banged up. Do they get Asante Samuel back?
He is definitely coming back.
I feel like
week.
he's going to come back. And last night, if it's true that Nix and Smith re-injured themselves, and if they don't play, it's going to be a very easy game for the Eagles. If they play, it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I never thought we'd see the day where these games became shootouts.
Yeah.
I mean, these
Very
are two
true.
guys, the Giants have been a defensive-oriented team for a while. And, the Eagles with Jim Johnson all those years. But Eagles will win this game. Colts are going to beat the Jaguars. Everyone's saying, oh, the Jaguars got it. This is their year. Peyton Manning is going to say, I'm Peyton Manning. That's it. Now, Patriots are going to beat the Packers. It's going to be easy. And the Baltimore Ravens started to look ahead last night. That's why the game went to overtime. At halftime they were thinking, okay, we've got the Super Bowl champs coming to town, but they're going to beat the Saints.
Okay, I like some of your picks, but one I am going to disagree with you on. But first, I think the Eagles will beat the Giants. Eli Manning is a turnover machine. The Eagles lead the league in interceptions with 22. So obviously that's a recipe for success for the Eagles. Give me Jacksonville over the Colts.
Why?
I think Jacksonville is ready to put their stamp on the AFC South. The
Really?
Colts are still banged up. Maurice Jones-Drew could basically take over the game with the running, and basically keep the ball out of Peyton Manning's hands. And, that's the only way you can beat the Colts is if you keep it out of his hands.
I believe last year there was a game where the Dolphins had the ball 46 minutes and the Colts won, so I don't buy that. But keep going.
Well, who was on the field? Peyton Manning. So, and the Dolphins don't have the offense to take over that type of game. Give me Pittsburgh over the New York Jets. I think.
Good pick.
Yeah, the Jets have just hit a wall in their season, and if they keep, messing around, they might not even make the postseason after starting the season so well.
You're absolutely right.
And New England, 30 or more points over the Green Bay Packers.
I'm saying 45 again. I'm saying 45.
I think the Packers are probably, I'll be generous and give them 10, a touchdown and a field goal. But I don't even know with Matt Flynn at quarterback, I don't even know if they can get that. Against the Patriots in New England. And that would mean Tom Brady gets his 27th straight home victory, which is ridiculous.
The numbers are staggering. Now, every year before the holidays, our former host, Carl Boss, he gives a little segment, and he's going to give us a little talking to. Let's hear it. Okay, let's not hear it.
Just when you thought it was safe to leave Facebook and stop tweeting for 2 seconds, right back where you found me last year, it's Carl Boss, as always in retirement still, throwing the scripts at the window. And a couple of things I gotta get off my chest over the past year. First and foremost, Dallas Cowboys. You had the dream season set. You had the new stadium, you had the team, you had the owner, you had the quarterback, you had the stardom, and everything, and then you woke up. Congratulations on a successful season to Jerry Jones and the gang down in Arlington, Texas. In the end result, Jerry, your team looks like they have just as much talent as the Kardashians and is as sturdy as the Minnesota Vikings Metrodome roof. Cheers. And as always, it's time for the holidays. Once again, it's a time to relax and reflect back, and a time to release all the anger, all the frustration, and remember to go out and buy the #1 gift this year, the New York Times future bestseller, the GTL book by the Situation Mike Sorrentino. So it looks like dancing's not your thing, so lose the dancing shoes and head back to the drawing board. And as for the New York Yankees, and sorry, Philly's got Cliff Lee. What do you want me to say? You can't monopolize every year. You got almost 30 championships. Let another team have a chance for once. Cheers to everybody out there watching, all the Split Decision viewers. Cheers to Mike and Anthony on the desk. Happy holidays. Salute. Take care, guys.
And cheers back to you, Carl Boss. Very good. That whole thing on the Dallas Cowboys, I love it.
Has me in the Christmas spirit.
Now, Anthony, this is your final Ant Rant.
Yeah.
If you don't make it a good one, you will never live it down for the rest of your life, for eternity.
Wow, talk about pressure, but...
just you against the world.
Let me see what I can do with this one. And this one I'm going to leave so it can stick in your minds a little bit, and you can hold me to it until, February and beyond February next year. This is why I think that Super Bowl 44 will be a rematch of the Eagles and the Patriots of Super Bowl 39. Okay, first of all, let's start off with the Patriots. The Patriots are basically unstoppable right now. In the past 2 weeks, they've beaten the New York Jets, a top 10 defense, 45-3. And just last Sunday, they beat the Bears by a score of 36-7, another top 10 defense. Tom Brady is playing out of his mind. He is going to be the NFL's MVP. He's masking what is a bad defense, well, not a bad defense, a young defense that is still second in the league in takeaways and interceptions. So that's something to be said. But I don't see anybody stopping Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and this Patriots team. They are just running through the AFC. They're running through the league right now. And if the playoffs have to come through Foxborough, which they should, then it'll be over for every other team. The Eagles are playing out of their minds too. Michael Vick is playing out of his mind. He's going to be the comeback player of the year. The Eagles lead the league in turnover differential. They lead the league in interceptions, and they are first in total offense. And wouldn't it be something if the Eagles have to go to Atlanta in the NFC Championship game to play Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Vick making his return to the Georgia Dome. You think that Michael Vick wouldn't want to put on a show in that NFC Championship game and get the Eagles to a Super Bowl and win their first Super Bowl? These two teams are playing very well right now. The Eagles, on the other hand, aren't at the top of the conference, but I think come playoff time, Andy Reid's playoff experience, I think he can get, the Eagles can get over the hump and they could make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm looking for a rematch at Super Bowl 39, New England and Philadelphia.
As much anticipation as I would have for that Super Bowl, I would anticipate that NFC Championship. Eagles in Atlanta, Michael Vick going back there. Oh, my God.
The media hype, just the media hype.
The media would think of every angle for it, everyone. Now,
your last final word.
My last final word until the fall. I better make it a good one. And I have a confession. Until very late last night, I had no idea what I was going to do for my final word. None at all. Then the Cliff Lee story happened. That doesn't mean, though, that I'm going to do my thing on Cliff Lee. I just thought of that, and I just thought, wow, it has been a bizarre few days in sports. Let's go back to Sunday. The Metrodome collapses, and it epitomizes the Vikings season. Collapse. It was unbelievable. And then the game is moved to Detroit, the stadium of one of the Vikings' NFC North rivals. Really? Anyway, then that same day, you have a game played where there are 5 downs on a drive, and a team can't make an extra point after scoring on the 5th down. Do you understand? Wild Sunday. Sunday was out of control. Then you have yesterday. For any of you soccer fans out there, if you know who Wayne Rooney is, the man missed a penalty kick against arch rival Arsenal. How do you do that? Manchester United, Arsenal, you have a penalty kick, you make that kick. Now, last night, the Vikings' run defense, which for the past 4 years has been the best in the NFL, gets gashed for over 200 yards, which to me is as bizarre as Brett Favre not suiting up for a game. I never thought in my life, Anthony, that I would see something like that. Right? So then there's another game. There were 2 Monday Night Football games. And normally that's, say, for week 1, and ESPN does 2 Monday Night Football games. But no, this was an out-of-nowhere Monday Night Football game. Then you had Texans-Ravens, a game where Baltimore's up 28-7. And with how good that defense is supposed to be, they had to win 34-28 at overtime. And finally, the Phillies get Cliff Lee back. Why is this bizarre? Not because he wanted to go back to Philadelphia. There's nothing wrong with that. Philadelphia is a good team. But he rejected the New York Yankees, the world's most iconic sports franchise, along with the Lakers and Manchester United. Just an unbelievable past few days in sports leading up to this show. That's why me and Anthony tried to do our best today to make it a good one. I hope you all enjoyed the season as much as I did. I want to thank our producer, Brian Boss, and everybody on the crew who helped us out. I want to thank Carl for a great rant and rave today. And I want to congratulate you. You're on your way to Montclair State, man. I hope I get to go there next year, too. So we'll see what happens, man. Anthony, best of luck to you. Hug it out. Bye, everyone.